Good evening, and how are you? I am Tessa-Marie, and I am a woman on a mission. I desire to help you live a fulfilled life. What I know for sure is that I do not have all the answers. Although I want you to live a fulfilled life, I do not have all the answers. But I know I can help you find some of the answers you're looking for. So, what you need to understand is that my goal is to reach you, just you. You who press the button and choose to be here tonight. I say to myself, and I've said it over and over, my goal is to touch one person in the right place each day, just one. And if I can do that, I am touching 365 people in a year. And that is my desire, and that is what I aim to do. So when you press that button and you come to the evening show, it is important to understand that there was a magic that pushed you to that. You needed to hear something tonight, or you needed to hear something this morning on the Morning Blessings. Some of you are very careful and you show up and you show up. And some of you get that feeling and you come. But tonight we have been having a series. And this was a huge one. Tonight, our series have been for the entire month so far on the financial pillars on various categories. Tonight is the last night on leadership and the financial pillar of prosperity. The 4 previous nights, I used the organization, cooperation. But tonight, I am so excited because I am using this, the family home. I am saying leadership and financial pillar of prosperity begins in the family home. I'm not going to the corporations. They know how to do it. They teach us how to do it. But I am coming into the home, into the heart, into the source of financial pillar of prosperity. That's where the magic begins. That's where we must start. That is where we should be when we're talking about financial prosperity. It shouldn't be that the person come to see somebody like me and say to me, Tessa-Marie, you need to help me fix this. They need to have some sort of idea of what financial pillar of prosperity means. And that information begins at home. I am really often very disturbed when many of my friends and acquaintances and followers and peers and coaches tell me, Tessa-Marie, they should be teaching that in school. No, Jose, that is not their responsibility. There are certain things we must teach our children ourselves. And one of them is to know that there is a God above, and the other one is know the golden rule, and the third one is how to manage your money. They must see it at home. Too often, we keep this as a secret. I am sure the government of Canada and the United States do not have secrets that are as well kept as family financial situations. The children do not know. Sometimes one spouse doesn't know what dance is happening, the money over here. The other spouse is just finding out when the phone rings or the doorbell goes or someone comes to the house. That's wrong. Leadership and financial prosperity begins in the house. I want this to be stressed and to be understood by all. You cannot expect the teacher to teach your children about money when you have them yourself and you use money. It's not to say they will teach them about math and science because you don't do it. Once we leave school, we don't do it. But we'll use money until the last breath we take. We leave information about how our money should be divided when we die, but we don't teach our children what to do with the money that they receive. So therefore, people like me are constantly trying to fix it. It's like Tessa-Marie fix it. And then there are some people unlike me that charge to fix it because it needs to be fixed. And when you have it, when people have taken that program I teach and they follow it, they know where they're going. But they should have known before they met me I should just come and put the icing on the cake and give them the cherry so they can reach higher. But no, leadership in the home is weak. It's weak and lacking on the pillar of financial prosperity. And it's time you guys heard it. It's time each and every person that pressed that button tonight hears this. The minute a child says to you, can you buy this? That minute the child says to you, Mom, Grammy, can you buy this for me? That's the minute they're sat down, whether you have to put them at eye level, put them on the counter in the kitchen and begin the journey. They need to understand the meaning of spending money. I mean, I have stories about this you wouldn't believe. I have a very good one. When my son was about 5 or 6, I was going to work. He didn't understand I was going to work to the bank. So he got up that morning and he said to me, I'm coming with you to the bank. I said, I'm going to work. He said, well, I need to go to the bank. I said, well, what are you going there for? I need to see that place where you're putting my money. Because I told him I was saving his money in the bank for him. I said, but you have your book. He said, that's not good enough. Where is that place? What happens if you're not here? How will I find my money? And I said, okay. I said, well, I can't take you today, but Saturday I'm not working. I'll take you to the bank. And I took him to the bank and he couldn't reach the counter, but it was the branch where I work, so we sat him on the thing so that he could talk to the lady, and he gave his lady his other $6 he had in quarters. And he understood where that place was. I remember we holding his hand, leaving the bank, and he's looking back. And he says, I want to remember that building. He's 6. So when you tell them something, they don't forget. When you tell children you're going to do something, they don't forget. They expect you to do it. And some days when you think they're not thinking, they're thinking, and they will hold you up to it. Be prepared. That was a good story. But the story standing in line up at Canadian Tire, which is like Rona's or Home Depot, and there's a family of 4 ahead of me. The 2 kids ran back and came back in front of me with 2 different toy things. And to put it there, the mother and the father said to them, you cannot have it. And the boy must have been about 9 or 10. He said, what do you mean we cannot have it? He said, we cannot afford to buy this. He said, well, can you afford to buy that? Pointing to whatever they were buying. And the father said, we're going to use the credit card. He said, well, you use the credit card anyway. Put it on the credit card. The mother looked at me and she says, children. And I looked at her and I went, I would take him to the car and I would teach him children. I would lock the car and I would give him a wallop. He would never know where it came from. But anyway, I didn't say that to him. I just went, okay. So they didn't buy the stuff, which was a good thing. But the children did not understand that that credit card has to be paid. We need to tell them why you are not doing it. You cannot discipline children without giving them a reason. I don't want you to cross the street because you get hit by a car. We do that. But we never tell them why we do not want to buy the night care. This same Michael came to me and said to me, everybody at school has night care. And I said to him, and he's going to make you smarter in science and math. And he said, no, but I want one. I said, bring those pair of Converse I bought that was cheap in those days and a black marker, and I put Nike on it for you. And it will be just as good as new. He took his shoes and he ran away. So when he became the big boss he is, making his more money than I could think about, he told me, Mom, I bought Prada. And I go, good for you. He said, remember when you wouldn't buy me Nike? I said, well, didn't the Nike or not Nike, would you have done good in school? So don't tell me about your shoes. Buy whatever you want. Praise the Lord, you made money. So the story will continue with him because boys speak more than girls. And later on, when he got into the real energy of it, they called him in head office and said to him, no, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to do this. So he told me, I sat down and I listened to them and I said, my mother is a financial planner, a certified financial planner. All I heard all my life was about money. I have already sent her the name of several financial planners and everything, and she's given me the reason why I should choose this one, so I have that all wrapped up. And the man said to him, "You're lucky." He said, "It wasn't luck, I just had no choice." That's all she talked about. That's what he told me, he told the man. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you cannot or you're not going to purchase something for a child, give them a reason why. Do not hide finance from them, because financial situations is not going away. Rent must be paid, school fees have to be paid, clothes have to be worn, things have to be... Do you know what you do for these people who are homeless? I told my 3 children they were homeless. I said, "You people don't have an address. You're using my address. You do not have a home. So you are a homeless person. And there are rules and regulations that you have to follow because you're homeless. You live here. You have a key to open the door. It has heat in the winter and cold air in the summer. And you open the fridge and you stand in front of it like a penguin and you inform me that there is nothing to eat in this house at all." That's what they do. And you people are homeless. So let me explain to you how this family is kept together. I must go to work. I have to be educated to get a decent job. And my job right now is to educate you so you get a decent job so that you can pay for the food and the things you want in your life. Because I am not raising any statistics. You have to do better than I did. And I showed them the rope of financial prosperity. My middle daughter, never ever has she paid interest on a credit card. Once I sat her down and I said, "Oh, they gave you a credit card, did they? At university?" I said, "Did they tell you the ins and the outs of this credit card?" She said, "No." I said, "How many do you have?" She said, "Well, I remember you saying you only need 1, but I was offered 4, but I only took 1. I said, "Okay." I said, did they tell you about it?" "No." So then I sat her down and I taught her how to manage and to use a credit card. And to this day, this woman is not paying interest. She said, "No, I know when it's my billing date, I shop after my billing date for 5 days, and then I know I have 7 weeks to pay them." And she sticks to it. That is what, so leadership begins in the home. We are in charge. I told my children they were homeless because I had a right to, this was my house. It wasn't theirs. It doesn't belong to them. It's a privilege for them to live here. When they came, there was no address attached to their toe when they arrived in this world. They had no identity. They didn't even have a name. And my job is to give them a name, give them an identity, shelter, feed them and clothe them, and send them out into the world so they can do the same. But I have to equip them, so do you. Do not be ashamed to let them know what is happening financially. It's better that they know now, so they understand. So when you're saying we are having, this was the funniest thing I saw. I don't know, when I saw one woman, I wish I had brought it up here. She put this big crock pot, and she had something on it, it wasn't Instagram or Facebook. She said, "You know, when you see this crock pot come up, your mother holding this crock pot, this big metal stainless steel pot, you know you're going to be having soup for weeks, right?" And I had to laugh because when the turkey is done, it's turkey soup, and I cook it in that pot and whatever is, and I box it, I put it in the fridge. So when she said that, I said, "Oh, you've been there, eh?" And so many people could relate to it. That this is what we have to do. Let them know the reason why we're making soup is so we can save money to go on this vacation. The vacation that you took them to Disney from didn't go grow up on a tree. It wasn't on the birch tree on the lawn. And it literally didn't grow on trees. Your father works, I work. We juggle, we pull the string, we shop on sale. We make soup, we make spaghetti sauce because it goes a long way. We make an Irish stew, it goes a long way. We make a shepherd's pie. All of what we do, we make a lasagna, it will last 2 days. all of what we do, leaders, we need to let them know this secret thing about not telling kids about money is stupid. And if you're guilty of doing it, change it. Let them know the truth. The truth does not kill anybody, doesn't hurt anybody. It prepares them for the worst. Tell them it's tight. Tell them dad has to work a 40-hour week. Tell them why dad didn't show up at the baseball game. Because dad had to take the overtime. That overtime is the money we put together, so we went to McDonald's for dinner. You need to speak out to these people. They are not dumb. They are not dumb. I told my granddaughter, who is 2 years old, Mommy's in the shower. She woke up and I took her to hear the shower. The next time she woke up and she couldn't see her mother, she said, Mommy in the shower again? That's how she told it to me. And I looked at her and I go, oh, you remember that? 2 years old. She remembered when her mom wasn't there when she woke up, and I had her, and I said to her, Mommy's in the shower. Next time she woke up, her mom was not in the shower. The mom was in another room, but the minute she saw me, she goes, Mommy in the shower again? They remember, 2 years old. So why are you hiding the truth from them? You do not have to take the money from them when they begin working, but the very least you can do is to show them how to manage it, how to put it aside, how to do this. You don't spend all your money at Marshall's. You don't always go to what you call it, Lords and Taylor or Fifth Avenue, Saks. You don't go to the Bay. You don't go to this one. No, that is not where your money has to go every day. I was taught how to manage money from a very early age, but the reason too was that they were in business. So I didn't have a choice. I knew the up and down of business. So much so my mom said the day business was the worst, that is the day she dressed the best. She said, because I had to feel better, really great. And that is something I have practiced. So even when you are feeling down financially, put something on to perk you up. Put the red lipstick, I don't care. Who cares what lipstick you wear? Put your makeup on, brush your hair, stand up in your best dress and go out for the day and go to McDonald's and sit there and have a flipping coffee. It's not a good day, but you have to make the day good for you. So leadership in financial prosperity, tonight I refuse to go to a corporation. The biggest corporation is the one that you need to learn to run like a big business. When you have decided to succeed, you need to make your home, you need to run that house like a big business. You need to run it like you know where every dime goes, you know how you're going to make ends meet. You need to run your financial situation like a business. As a matter of fact, you need to run your whole entire life like a business. There are days that are down and there's days that are up, and the business has a money set aside for the dead days. Your finances have to be managed the same way a business that is successful manages itself. They know where every dollar is going, and you cannot tell them that that is not the right way to do it. So when you take your time, you need to tell your children about money from the time they know what money is. I have one of these, my adopted granddaughter, you know her. I think she's here. Kathleen comes on and she gives Monroe, who is 6 or 5, and I think this has been going on forever, since Monroe could breathe. And Monroe knows she has $5. She goes to the dollar store. When you spend it, that's it. You do not have more. So if you want to buy something better, you need to put it aside. So she's already training her now. What do you think will happen when she's 20? What you think she will do, because it's embedded in her. She has it, she learns it, she saw it. What are you doing, Mom? I am shopping at the sales store, so because now I have used all the money to pay for all your activities. She got it. She will never forget that. There is nothing wrong with sharing with the children what you're doing with money. Don't do that. Don't hide the truth from them, and then one day they come and there's a lock on the door and they cannot come in because they didn't know you were going bankrupt, right? Isn't that worse? Instead of them nagging you for you to buy something, tell them why. Honey, we need to pay for these things. Well, what you mean, Mom? What you have to pay for? Well, you know, your shoes, your clothes, for you to go swimming, for you to go playing this and grinding that, and hockey and baseball and basketball. It costs money. Oh, I didn't know that. And you know the uniform they give you? Mom and Dad has to pay for that. Oh, yes, and it costs so many dollars. They mightn't understand it, but they get an idea. Little by little, it will grow. And that's your job as the CEO of your home. There is a chief operating officer and there is a chief financial officer. I was the chief financial officer, and sometimes I had to push the chief operating officer out of the way because he just wasn't doing a good job. I say, no. That's not how you do it. So every household should be run like you're running a company. Right now, you should be preparing for the winter. If you live in a country of seasons, what are you thinking? Have you checked to see which coats are good, which buttons has to be changed? It's a business. It's not just a willy-dally, I get my paycheck, I pay the bill. No, it's a business, and you have to run the business better. That's one of the things you have to do. I need to pick up my glasses. And you have to make sure you do this right. Let the children know to run your home like a big business. Run it like Apple. Run your home like a big business. Study them. Study what they do. That's what you have to do. Do not go shopping and you have no money. You are the leader of the group here. Eat what is in the cupboard and in the fridge first. Know what you have before you buy what is on sale. You are the chief financial officer, for goodness sake. And you are the chief cook and the bottle washer on top of that. And in many cases, you're the CEO, the executive officer of this company. You know the ups and you know the downs. You know all the players in this company. You know the team players and you know those that are not team players that think they can waste everything. It doesn't mean you have to buy and not give the children good things. You can and you should. But the most important thing is as a leader, so I do not have so much work to do with these people in their teens and their 20s and their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and their 60s and their 70s. And it goes on. And I'm not joking. If you doubt me about those in their 60s and their 70s and their 80s, when you go to Walmart, look who is greeting you. Welcome to Walmart. And in some cases, they can hardly stand. They're not doing it because they don't have a choice. They have a choice. It's because they do not have a choice. It's not enough what they're bringing in their old age. Because you know what? They did not take it seriously when they were young. Remember the story I told you about the two men in my office. Two men. One sitting at 69, 70 waiting for a loan to buy a car. The other one standing outside has come from vacation in Czechoslovakia for the winter, brought me chocolates and come to renew his 400,000 GIC. Didn't know they worked together. I didn't know that the one that's looking for the loan was the supervisor of the one that has $400,000, a condo in Toronto and a condo in Czechoslovakia. And that one in my office is renting and cannot afford to buy a car. And he was the supervisor of the one standing outside. And when the other one came in and they left and they said goodbye, he told me, he looked at him and he smiled. And I don't think he knew what he was smiling, that his smile was really tears. The man from Czechoslovakia thought it was, he said, you know what? And you know what, Tessa? He used to call me Tessa. You know what, Tessa? Every Friday night, he used to have 2 4-packs on his shoulder. He used to get off the bus and put 2 24s on his shoulder. That's what he told me. And and he didn't see it as the man was doing anything bad. He didn't know. And me, that took my little oath of silence. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, If only you knew. He said to me, "You're always telling me, oh, you have lots of money, let's do this, let's do that with the money." He said, he should have 10 times more than me. He was my supervisor. He didn't. He literally did not have 2 pennies to put together. Nobody taught him how to manage money. But this one from Czechoslovakia, I don't know if he had potatoes and whatever all year, but man, in his old age, he was living the life. So what I'm trying to say to you is figure this out. The most important thing in a family is this huge secret about money. Don't let the children know. We won't talk to the children. Don't let the children know. Well, you know what they can tell? They can see the worry lines on your face. They can hear when the phone rings and somebody is looking for money. Let them know where you are. When you're doing something, Christmas is coming. And they're bugging you for something. Tell them, you know, sweetie, we are saving money so you get the best gift ever from mom and dad. Give them hope. But don't just say we're not buying it, we can't buy it. That is not an answer. If somebody gave you that as an answer, you would be mad. But in their case, they just get more confused. They don't know what to do. They don't understand it. Then they become an adult and they're just like you. Not knowing what to do, not telling the truth, hiding everything about money under the bed, under the pillow, whispering in the dark, having a fight in the cold room about money so you don't want them to hear, sitting in the car after the dark so that you fight in the car so you don't want them to hear. These are the stories I hear. So tonight, leadership and financial pillar of prosperity. I took it to the house. I took it in your living room. I took it to your bedroom. I placed it squarely on the kitchen table where this discussion should take place. So sending you light and joy. I hope.